Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway and the Kentucky 150 continuing on, but we are under caution, and when cautions come out, you always think of safety. So we're going to take a look at our Hardcore Motorsports ARCA Safety Initiative with Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. You know, in every pit stall down here, you're going to find a lot of gasoline. You've got these big fuel cans right here, and they load these things up ready to fill the car, right? Well, you've got 2 of them standing by in every pit stall full of fuel, and that's because the ARCA cars still have 22-gallon fuel cells. But in every pit stall, they've got a fireman here, and these guys are ready to go in the blink of an eye. They've got fire extinguishers small so they could grab them and take off and run. They also have fire extinguishers big in case there's a big fire down here in the pit area. So every single pit stall has a fireman standing by, and that is certainly great for the drivers and the teams, making it a safer racing environment.
Every racetrack, we see the track officials and the workers that are so diligent with getting out on the racetrack. When a caution happens, like just took place, they are right out there as quickly as they possibly can be to make sure the safety of those drivers.
We think about how much safer the cars are from, you know, in the last 20 years, 10 years, but where the really safety gains have been made is on pit road. The pit road speeds, the uniforms, the helmets,
gloves,
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing what the different associations have done and worked together to implement all the safety features.
And how about the safer barriers, Kenny? Now, you've unfortunately probably tested 1 or 2 out over the last couple of years.
First time I hit one, it was headed right toward it, and I thought, oh no, I know what this is going to feel like, and it was like, wow, that wasn't near as bad as I thought it was going to be.
You can see the 4 of Rob Bunker. He has been black flagged for that contact he made with the 07 of Billy Tanner. Let's take a look back again at what caused this most recent caution flag. You can see the 4 of Rob Bunker. He's just going to run in, but the 07 was not up to speed. It looked like he was almost backing off. So, you know, I can't give 100% of the blame to Rob Bunker on that situation.
Yeah, they're both going about the same speed, almost into the corner, and then it looked like that 07 really slowed down quite a bit, and the 4 did not slow down. So
it looks like the ARCA RE/MAX officials are going to hold the 4 of Rob Bunker a lap, though. And
the people in charge don't have a problem giving the blame to the 4 cars.
They are doing that, and so he will sit on pit road while the field goes around him. I'm sure once the field goes by, they'll let him head back out onto the racetrack. Our point leader, Frank Kimmel, we ride along with him. What's going on with him, Ray?
Well, you know, this is a great racetrack for Frank Kimmel, no doubt about that. But he's got a real tight race car right now. Kimmel started 10th today and has really not been able to move forward at all. He's very, very tight. Now, here's the big problem. Do you worry about the fact that the air pressure hasn't built up yet? Because we really haven't run much green flag. Well, here's the other issue. As the fuel burns off, this race car should get even tighter. So Kimmel and his brother Bill talking about all the adjustments they hope to make on that race car, because so far he hasn't been able to pass hardly anybody because he's way too tight.
Frank Kimmel, 9 top 5s at this racetrack in his 10 starts. Earlier this year, he finished 12th. He's led 536 laps in the 10 races that he's competed. But out in front and leading the laps right now, it's Michael McDowell. Welcome back to the Kentucky Speedway. We're still under our 3rd caution of the day as they continue to clean up the racetrack in turn number 3. We talked about the safety crews and how hard they're working at making sure this is a safe facility. Well, there's some drivers that pull not only double but sometimes triple duty as far as what they will go to make sure that their race team is as well equipped as they possibly can be. And Mark Mitchell is most definitely a go-getter when it comes to the different aspects of what a race team needs.
It was 902 Foxtrot Charlie, ready to depart runway 5. The pilot's license thing was, you know, was kind of a weird thing. A couple of my buddies were pilots, and that's what they were doing, you know, as their career. And we just started talking, and they said, well, you can come out here and get your pilot's license. It's, you know, I did it after class. Actually, one semester I ended up having to take 19 hours just because it was an added class that I had to take on top of what I was taking to do the ground school for flying. But in the long run, I feel like it paid off. I'm real happy I did it. When you're running in an ARCA team, it's, you know, it's going to be on a lower budget than you would have a Busch Series team or an XL Cup team. And people, you got to do what you got to do to make it happen. And that's what I did. And I knew our truck driver, we only have one of them, and I knew we were going to be making cross-country trips and coming back here, and the schedule was going to be tight, so I just went ahead and got my CDL license in Tallahassee. It's definitely a lot different feel in the race car than it is driving that big rig. This one's a lot easier to shift, I'll tell you that. The transmission in this one's a whole lot nicer than the transmission in the truck out there, so you know, it's definitely a lot easier to miss a gear in that truck than it is to miss a gear in this race car. Going from the truck to the car isn't that big of a deal. Going from the airplane to the car might be a little bit different, but like I said, I'll sit down to fly, you know, get my mind straight, know what I'm doing, think about, you know, what's going to happen, you know, when I get out on the racetrack, and that's usually what I do. And I feel like, you know, flying helps me out in that aspect, because when I sit down to fly, you know, there's a whole lot of things I got to go through before I even take off. So, you know, keeping my mind sharp is the main thing, and that's what I think, you know, flying and driving the truck helps me on the racetrack.
That kid right there is versatile.
He's definitely determined to do everything he can to make this work.
We've spent our share of time in haulers going up and down the road too, haven't we, Ken?
Oh, yes. I do it every week. Was in it 3 days last week, 3 days this week. But and I drive it quite a bit. But I bought one with an automatic too. That things are, he's right. They are a pain to shift.
Yeah, a lot of shifting goes on in those things. We've got Jeremy Clements running in the third position. Let's see if we can make some radio contact with him. Hey, Jeremy, Phil Parsons up in the speed booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Phil.
Jeremy, you're coming off 2 top 5s in a row. Your last 2 times out, and you've got a good top 5 going here. But tell us what happened with that earlier incident with you and Aaron.
Well, I'll take the blame on that one. Looks like coming off the 4 there, she had the pass, and I guess the caution came out right when she passed me, and I didn't see the caution come out or nothing. Just kept going and got into her. Just feel real bad about that. Didn't mean to do that, of course. So just real sorry about that.
Well, you always run well when you run. You run a limited schedule. Again, you're coming off 2 top 5s in a row. How's this race look? How's your car doing?
Well, right now we're pretty tight. That's where Aaron got me. She was a lot better than me in the middle. We're just real tight in the middle right now. But hopefully the next pit stop will make some adjustments and get her better.
All right, Jeremy, we appreciate you talking to us. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Jeremy Clements currently running in the third position. Michael McDowell continues to lead laps. Well, he's led more laps than any other driver this season. 362 coming into tonight. 18 so far this evening and counting. We'll be back with more racing from Kentucky. Welcome back to the ARCA RE Series, Kentucky 150. We're still under caution. The lights just went off of the pace car out in front of the field, meaning next time by we'll see the green flag. Again, we've had 3 cautions. This most recent caution has gone on for quite some time after the 07 of Billy Tanner got up into the wall, and there was a lot of fluid that came out of his car. That was in turn number 3. They spent quite a bit of time cleaning that up. And so I believe they have that cleaned up now, and we're about to go back to racing.
There's a good look at the 22 of Josh Wise. He's one of the 2 Toyotas in the field along with Bobby Santos. Josh, one of Michael Waltrip's developmental drivers, doing a great job here. He finished in the top 10 his last time out at Pocono, and that was just a few hours after running the truck race at Texas, because we were kind of on the same schedule with him, so he actually rode with us. But does a great job here. There's Cale Gale, another one of the drivers for Kevin Harvick. Yep. He won last year, as you could see, at Gateway.
What a great qualifying run for Brian Silas in that number 11.
You can see Brian Silas's best career finishes 8th at Salem. Looking to better that here. He had a great run going at Michigan just a couple races ago, and ended up getting into some trouble towards the end of the race. He looked like he was headed towards a top 5 finish.
Whenever you say he had a great run going, it just never has a happy ending, you know.
Yeah, you preface whatever you're going to say with he had a great run going.
Yes.
But well, the pace car has made its way onto pit road, meaning the field back in the hands of Michael McDowell, and so he will bring them back to the green flag. This will be our 3rd restart of the race. McDowell with a great restart as he jumps out to a 4-car length lead over Bobby Santos. Jeremy Clements, Josh Wise, and Cale Gale, your top 5 as they go into turn 1.
There's a good view from Brian Silas. He's on board. Brian's running in the 6th position right now. Going to make his way around the lap car of Rob Bunker, the number 4. Remember, Rob got a penalty for running in the back of Billy Tanner. So he is now 1 lap down.
Working at second lane.
And this field, even after 1 lap of getting restarted, almost spread about half the racetrack from who's leading the race to who's at the back of the field. And in qualifying, there was 10-mile-an-hour difference from the pole just to, say, 32nd. So a big differential between our pole sitter and 32nd.
Of course, there was a 2-mile-an-hour difference between first and second.
Yeah,
so that was part of that 10.
That's very unusual for that kind of gap, first and second. Plus, on the restarts, you start single file. You know, so it spreads you out there quite a bit. But it's still, they did get themselves some room. But maybe they're thinking after all these yellows that they want a little room to themselves.
Let's get some racing in. How about it?
See the 3 of Jeremy Clements. He talked about his car being tight. He's going to push up in the center of the corner. That will allow the 22 of Josh Wise to get to the inside. Let's see if he can pull this pass off getting in 3.
Cale Gale looks to the inside also of Jeremy Clements. Get a preferred line down on the bottom of the racetrack right now. And a big lead for Michael McDowell as he crosses the start-finish line. Bobby Santos running second, almost a second behind him.
Bobby Santos has been very impressive in his stock car races so far. I mean, very few stock car races, but very impressive.
Just a handful. Actually finished in the top 5 here earlier this year for his best career finish. He finished 3rd a couple months ago here. See Cale Gale go ahead and completing the pass on the number 3 of Jeremy Clements.
They move into the 3rd and 4th position. Again, out in front, Michael McDowell and Bobby Santos. Josh Wise, Jeremy Clements drops back behind Cale Gale into 5th. Then it's Brian Clausen, Brian Silas, Alex Jans, Brian Refner, and Frank Kimmel still running in that 10th spot.
Brian Clausen is another young guy with a lot of talent. He just turned 18 a couple of weeks ago. He finished 2nd earlier this year at Nashville. I'm sorry, earlier this year at Lakeland, the 2nd race of the season, and then finished 5th at Iowa. Only 2 starts and both top 5 finishes.
Future talent is not a problem in this series.
No.
There's a lot of good young race car drivers in this series.
Brian took a peek to the outside, now going to decide to go back to the inside. You see how much ground he gains through the center of the corner. That's because Jeremy Clements is fighting a tight condition. A little bit late getting back to the throttle that allowed Brian Clausen to gain quite a bit on him.
In any of the tracks like this, I mean, basically any type track, but especially these 1.5 miles, the more speed you carry right in the center of that turn really shows up when you get down that next straightaway, and that's what you really have to work on.
Across the start-finish line, Brian Clausen had the nose just in front of Jeremy Clements, so he takes 5th away, but Clements battling back on the outside.
That's another one of those versatile drivers we've talked about a lot, Kenny. Brian Clausen won a midget race a couple of weeks ago at Toledo Speedway.
Well, it's like Josh Weiss. Yeah, Josh Weiss has been running the open wheel cars and doing phenomenal.
We see Erin Crocker just in front of the 59 of Justin South here. She's trying to work her way back up toward the front. Again, Erin Crocker sitting on the pole to start this race, but having problems early on. Got ran into the back of, and so she got turned around, had damage to that car. They've done a lot of work on it, but back on the racetrack and still on the lead lap. Yeah, it's still on the lead lap and just trying to battle for a top 20 position. There's a battle for 7th. That's Alex Jans, birthday boy, 21 years old today. Going to try to take over the 7th position from the number 11 of Brian Silas. Takes that position away. We ride along with Brian Silas as Alex Jans pulls away with that yellow stripe across the back bumper. Alex ran this race earlier this year and got involved in an accident, had a poor finishing position, but Ed Barrier, longtime Busch Series driver, was his crew chief, and he said he felt like they had a very good car here, very good car to race, and it looks like he does. He's gaining ground.